There is an animal in the sea so feared that the great white shark, the creature we've built into the ultimate monster, will abandon an entire stretch of ocean the moment it senses one nearby. Not fight it, not challenge it, flee for months. And the animal it runs from isn't bigger, it isn't stronger in the jaws, it's just smarter. And that turns out to be the most dangerous thing in the ocean. Picture the smiling face, the one from aquariums and cartoons, the friendly black and white whale doing tricks for a crowd. We've made this animal into a gentle giant, cute even. We gave it a name that sounds like a warning and then decided it didn't really mean it. Hold on to that harmless image, because it may be the most dangerous misunderstanding we have about any animal in the sea. This is the orca, and here's the first thing that should reset everything you think about it. Nothing hunts the orca. The orca hunts everything else. It has no natural predator anywhere on the planet. Not one. From the largest whales to the fastest sharks, everything in the ocean is potential prey, and nothing, anywhere, preys on it in return. It sits at the very top of the entire sea, unchallenged. But that's not what makes it terrifying. Plenty of animals are big and strong. What makes the orca the thing the ocean runs from is the one weapon nothing else can match. Its mind. Orcas don't hunt the way other predators hunt. They don't rely on a single ambush or a burst of speed and hope it works. They hunt the way wolves hunt, the way humans hunt. Together, deliberately, with a plan. And once you see what that actually looks like, apex predator starts to feel like an understatement. Watch a pack of orcas work, and it's almost unsettling how coordinated they are. They communicate constantly in a language of clicks and calls so specific that different families have their own dialects, their own accents, passed down through generations. They take roles. One drives the prey, another cuts off the escape, another moves in for the kill. They've been seen working together to create waves that wash seals right off the ice. They surround, they herd, they adapt their entire strategy in real time to whatever the prey does next. This isn't instinct running on autopilot. This is intelligence, aimed at killing, and refined over generations. Now think about what that means for everything else in the water. Most predators are dangerous in a way you can understand and avoid. Learn their habits, stay out of their range, and you survive. But how do you hide from something that thinks? How do you outsmart a hunter that watches you, learns your patterns, and changes its plan the moment you change yours? You can't. And so the only sane response, written deep into the instincts of nearly every creature in the sea, is brutally simple. When the orcas come, you leave. You don't fight. You don't freeze. You run. And you run now. And here's the detail that overturns everything you believe about who rules the ocean. The great white shark. The animal we've crowned the ultimate predator, the one our deepest sea fears are built around, is one of the ones that runs. When orcas move into an area, great whites have been seen abandoning it completely, fleeing the entire region and not coming back for a long time. The most feared shark in the world takes one sense of the orca and clears out of waters it had hunted for years. The monster we're all afraid of is itself afraid of something. And that something is the orca. But here's the part that makes this animal genuinely remarkable, not just frightening. The orca isn't a mindless killing machine. It's the opposite. Different orca families specialize in completely different prey, using completely different techniques, and they teach those techniques to their young. One group hunts seals, another hunts fish, another takes on the largest animals in the ocean. These aren't instincts they're born knowing. They're skills, learned, practiced, and handed down from mother to calf, like knowledge passed through a family for generations. The orca doesn't just hunt, it has culture. And that may be the most human and most unnerving thing about it. I'll be honest with you, the way I will be the whole way through. The orca is not a monster. And despite that fearsome name, there is essentially no record of a wild orca ever killing a human in the ocean. Think about that. The most powerful, most intelligent hunter in the entire sea, and it shows no interest in harming us at all. Whatever it decides is prey, we are simply not on the list. It earns deep respect, not fear. But make no mistake about what it is capable of, and what everything else in the water already knows. Because somewhere out there right now, a family of the smartest predators on Earth is moving through the water together, talking, planning, coordinating, and every creature in their path can feel it coming. The great white flees, the seals scatter, even the giants give way. Not because the orca is the biggest thing in the ocean, but because it's the one that thinks. And in the sea, the deadliest weapon of all isn't teeth or size or speed. It's a mind that knows exactly how to use them. The orca rules the ocean with intelligence. The next hunter rules it a different way entirely, with a hunger so total, so indiscriminate, that it will swallow almost anything the sea puts in front of it. When scientists cut open this animal to see what it had been eating, they found things that had no business being inside a living creature. License plates, tires, bottles, pieces of metal, alongside the fish and the turtles and the seals. Actual garbage swallowed whole by a hunter that seems physically incapable of telling food from not food, and genuinely does not care. Picture a shark, but forget the great white for a moment. Forget the picky, specialized hunter that targets specific prey. This one is different. This one has no standards at all. It cruises the warmer waters, unhurried, testing the world with its mouth. And its rule for what counts as food is breathtakingly simple. Everything does. Hold on to that idea, because an animal with no limits on what it will eat is a very different kind of danger than one with a plan. This is the tiger shark. And here's the first thing that sets it apart. It doesn't choose its prey. It just eats. Most predators are selective. The great white hunts specific high-value targets. The orca specializes and teaches. The tiger shark does the opposite of all of it. It is the closest thing the ocean has to a creature with no preferences whatsoever. Fish, seals, turtles, seabirds, smaller sharks, and yes, whatever human junk happens to sink past it. People who study these animals have a grim nickname for it, the garbage can of the sea. And it earned that name the hard way, by being examined and found full of the impossible. But that indiscriminate appetite isn't just gross, it's a weapon. Here's why. A picky predator can go hungry. If its specific prey isn't around, it struggles. The tiger shark never has that problem, because to the tiger shark, the entire ocean is food. Whatever is available, it eats. Whatever falls into the water, it tries. It has removed the single biggest limit most hunters face, and that makes it one of the most successful and adaptable predators in the sea. It doesn't wait for the right meal. There is no wrong meal. And its body is built to back that up. Look at the jaws. The tiger shark's teeth aren't the smooth, slicing blades of the great white. They're heavily serrated, curved, and shaped like a can opener. They can shear straight through the shell of a sea turtle, an animal so armored that almost nothing else on Earth can crack it. That's the tiger shark's specialty, hidden inside its lack of specialty. It can eat the things other predators can't. The armored, the tough, the too hard to bother with. All of it opens up for a jaw built to cut through anything. Now here's the part that makes it genuinely unsettling to share water with. The tiger shark prefers the night and the murk. Stay with me, because this is where its danger to us actually comes from. It's most active in the dark hours and in cloudy, low-visibility water. Exactly the conditions where prey can't see it coming and can't tell what it is until it's close. It hunts in the in-between times, in water where the world below the surface becomes unknowable. And in that murk, its eat-anything instinct becomes a real hazard. A shape, a splash, a glint that might be a fish. The tiger shark will investigate it the only way it knows how. With its mouth. It doesn't need to be sure it's food. Uncertainty has never stopped it before. So put the whole picture together and feel how it turns. You started with a shark. What's actually there is something stranger, and in its own way, more formidable than the famous great white. A hunter with no limits, no preferences, and no off switch. A can-opener jaw that cracks what nothing else can. A night and murk specialist that thrives exactly where visibility fails. And an appetite so total that the whole ocean and everything that falls into it is fair game. The great white is a precision weapon. The tiger shark is something else. An animal that succeeds not by being selective, but by refusing to be. I'll be honest with you, the way I always am. The tiger shark is not a villain, and it is not hunting you specifically. It has no interest in people as prey. The rare, serious encounters come almost entirely from that same indiscriminate curiosity, an investigatory bite in murky water, a mistake made by an animal that checks the world with its mouth. And the work it does, clearing the ocean of the dead, the weak, the sick, and the leftover, is not cruelty. It's essential. An ocean without its scavengers would choke on its own waste. The tiger shark isn't a monster. It's the sea's cleanup crew, doing a job nothing else will. But respect what it represents. Out there, in the warm, murky, low-light water, cruising slow and patient, is a hunter that has erased the one rule almost every other predator lives by. It will eat anything. And in an ocean where survival often comes down to finding your next meal. The animal that considers everything a meal may be the hardest one of all to ever go hungry. The tiger shark wins by having no limits on what it eats. The next animal is the biggest shark of them all, and it proves that the largest hunter-shaped creature in the entire ocean isn't a hunter at all. The largest shark on the entire planet is longer than a bus, has a mouth wide enough to swallow a person whole, and could dominate almost anything in the ocean if it wanted to. And it harms nothing. Nothing at all. The biggest hunter-shaped creature in the sea turns out to be the gentlest animal in this entire film. And understanding why is one of the strangest surprises the ocean has to offer. We've just spent 2 chapters with killers, the pack that everything flees from, the jaw that cracks anything. So when I tell you the next animal is the largest fish alive, a giant shark drifting through the open blue, you already know exactly what to expect. Teeth, power, menace on a scale nothing else can match. Hold on to that expectation, because this creature is about to break it completely. This is the whale shark. And here's the first thing that makes no sense. It's a giant predator that eats some of the smallest food in the sea. A body this enormous should need to hunt big. It should be tearing into large prey, dominating the food chain by sheer force. Instead, the whale shark lives on plankton, tiny drifting clouds of microscopic life, so small that millions of them together would barely fill your hands. It opens that cavernous mouth, takes in enormous volumes of water, and simply strains out the tiny life, letting everything else pass through. The most massive fish in the ocean survives by eating the least threatening thing in it. And that changes what it even means to be this big. Because the whale shark's size isn't a weapon. It never was. All that scale, all that power, it's not for hunting, and it's not for fighting. Those teeth it does have are tiny and useless for attack. This is a giant that has no interest in dominating anything. It drifts through the open ocean, gentle and slow, moving among divers who swim right alongside it, completely unbothered, harming nothing it passes. The one creature in this film big enough to rule the sea by force is the one that chose not to. But here's the twist inside the twist. Because gentle doesn't mean simple. Finding enough of the tiniest food in the ocean to fuel the biggest body in the ocean is a genuinely enormous challenge. That plankton isn't spread evenly. It gathers in dense clouds, in specific places, at specific times, scattered across thousands of miles of open sea. Here 1 month, and gone the next. So the whale shark has to find it. And it does, crossing vast distances of empty ocean, arriving at feeding gatherings at exactly the right moment, somehow knowing where and when the sea will bloom with life. It isn't a mindless drifter. It's a traveler with an internal sense of the ocean's rhythms that we still don't fully understand. So why put a chapter about a gentle giant in a film about the ocean's deadliest hunters? Because the whale shark teaches the lesson the killers can't. We've been measuring danger by power, by teeth, by jaws, by the ability to dominate. And here is the animal with the most raw physical power of them all, proving that size and strength don't have to mean violence. It could have been the ultimate predator. It had every physical advantage to become one. And it went the opposite direction entirely, becoming the largest, calmest, most harmless creature in the whole sea. In a film full of hunters, it's the reminder that the biggest force in the ocean isn't always a threat.
I'll be honest with you, the way I always am.
The whale shark is not endangered because it's dangerous. It's endangered because it isn't. That gentleness, that slowness, that complete lack of aggression makes it vulnerable in a fast, crowded ocean. It's struck by ships it's too slow to avoid. It's caught in nets never meant for it. The very calm that makes it so remarkable is also what leaves it defenseless against the one predator it never evolved to handle: us. The largest fish on Earth, and its greatest danger is the thing it would never think to fear.
So the next time you imagine a giant shark drifting through the deep blue, don't picture a monster. Picture the opposite. A gentle giant with an open mouth and an empty horizon, following invisible feasts across the sea, harming nothing, dominating nothing, simply moving through the ocean it could rule, and choosing every single day not to. The biggest hunter-shaped animal in the entire sea isn't a hunter. It's proof that the greatest power in the ocean doesn't have to be used to be extraordinary.
And now that you've met the giant that chose peace, it's time to go back into the dark and meet a hunter that chose the opposite. The next animal is the largest predator with teeth that has ever lived, and it dives into a crushing blackness no other hunter would dare to enter. There is a predator that dives into a place so hostile, so utterly without light, that no other hunter on Earth would dare to follow it there. It vanishes beneath the surface, drops into a crushing blackness where the pressure could flatten a submarine, and hunts there, alone, in total darkness, for the better part of an hour. Then it comes calmly back up, as if it had simply stepped out of one world and into another. You've seen this animal near the surface. A long, dark back, a slow breath, a tail lifting once before it slides under. And near the surface, it looks peaceful, almost lazy. Just another whale drifting in the blue. Hold on to that calm image, because it's a lie of omission. What you're actually watching is the beginning of a descent into a place we were never meant to go. This is the sperm whale. And here's the first thing that makes it extraordinary. It's the largest predator with teeth that has ever lived. Ever. Not the largest animal, the largest hunter with teeth in the entire history of the planet. Bigger than any dinosaur that hunted with jaws. And unlike the whale shark we just met, this giant does not filter tiny plankton. It hunts. It pursues large, powerful prey in single combat, deep beneath the surface. But the size isn't even the most impressive thing about it. Where it goes to hunt is. Because when the sperm whale dives, it doesn't drift down, it commits. It points its enormous body toward the bottom and leaves the world of light behind, dropping through the blue, through the gray, into darkness so complete that the sun has never once touched it. 300 meters, 600, 1,000, deeper, down to depths where the pressure would crush machinery, where the cold is constant and the black
is total. Into the part of the ocean that terrified sailors for centuries, because it is genuinely another world, sitting directly beneath the one we know. And the sperm whale calls it home. And here's the part that should make the hair stand up on your arms. It does all of this on a single breath. No air down there, no way back if something goes wrong. The whale holds everything it needs inside its own body and simply goes into the dark alone for 45 minutes or more at a stretch. Its heart slows. Its body shuts down everything it doesn't need. For that long descent, it becomes less like a warm-blooded mammal and more like a creature built for a place that should be impossible to survive. So how does it hunt in a darkness where eyes are completely useless? It doesn't use its eyes, it uses sound. The sperm whale carries in its vast head one of the most powerful natural instruments on Earth, and it fires sound into the black ahead of it. Sharp, rhythmic clicks, loud enough to travel through the deep and bounce back off whatever is hiding out there. It isn't seeing the dark, it's listening to it, building a picture of an invisible world out of echoes, finding its prey not by light, but by the shape its body sends back through the water. Down there, in the place we imagine as empty and silent, the whale is wide awake, scanning, hunting, perfectly at home in the one environment that would kill us in seconds. And then, when it's done, it comes back. It turns that enormous body upward and climbs through all that crushing depth back toward the light and surfaces into our world as calmly as it left it. Breathes, rests, and goes down again. Over and over for its entire long life. A constant traveler between two worlds, the bright one we live in and the black one we fear, treating the boundary between them as nothing more than a doorway. Think about what that actually makes it. Every other hunter in this film is bound to a world it can see. The orca in the light, the tiger shark in the shallows and the murk. But the sperm whale hunts where there is no light at all, in a realm so extreme that it might as well be another planet. It didn't just become the largest toothed predator in history. It conquered the one hunting ground nothing else could reach by rebuilding itself into something that could survive down there and rise back up again and again. I'll be honest with you, the way I always am. The sperm whale is a predator, but it is not a danger to us. It has no interest in anything at the surface, and its world is one we can barely visit even with machines. What it hunts lives far below anything we'll ever swim through. It earns awe, not fear. And there's something almost humbling in it. This immense, ancient hunter, doing battle in a darkness we'll never witness, and then rising quietly to breathe in the same air we do, before vanishing back down into the black. So the next time you see a whale's tail lift and slide beneath the surface, remember what you're really watching. Not an ending, a beginning. The first moment of a journey into a world with no light, no air, and no mercy. A world that belongs completely to the largest hunter with teeth that ever lived. It goes down into the dark. And unlike anything else in this ocean, it always knows the way back up. The sperm whale hunts alone in the darkness. The next hunter does the opposite.
It works together as a team, building a trap out of nothing but air and turning cooperation itself into a weapon.
There's a group of giants in the ocean that hunt by building a net made of nothing but bubbles. They blow it from below, spiraling upward, weaving a wall of rising air around their prey until there's nowhere left to escape. And then they rise through the middle of it, mouths open, and swallow the trap whole. It's one of the most astonishing hunting strategies on the planet, and they invented it themselves.
You know this animal as the gentle one, the singer, the whale that breaches and waves its huge fins and drifts peacefully through nature documentaries, the very picture of a calm, harmless ocean giant. Hold on to that gentle image, because it's true, and it's also hiding one of the most brilliant, coordinated hunts in the entire sea.
This is the humpback whale.
And here's the first thing that should surprise you. These gentle giants are hunters, and they don't hunt alone. Most of the predators we've met are solitary, or hunt in the simple, instinctive way. The humpback does something far more sophisticated. Groups of them come together and hunt as a team, coordinating, communicating, each one playing a part in a strategy that only works if everyone does their job perfectly. And the strategy they've built is unlike anything else in the ocean. It's called the bubble net, and it's genuinely ingenious. Here's how it works. A group of humpbacks locates a school of small fish. Then they dive below it, and one or more of them begins to blow bubbles while swimming in a slow, rising spiral. Those bubbles form a wall, a shimmering curtain of air that rises around the fish like the bars of a cage. The small fish won't cross it. To them, that wall of bubbles looks solid, impassable. So they bunch tighter and tighter, herded into a dense ball in the center, trapped by a barrier made of nothing at all. And then the whales, waiting below, surge straight up through the middle of the trap with their enormous mouths wide open, engulfing the entire concentrated swarm in a single rising lunge. But here's the part that lifts it from clever to breathtaking. This requires teamwork. Most animals are simply not capable of. Different whales take different roles. Some blow the net. Some herd from below. Some produce loud calls that startle the fish into tightening the ball even further. It has to be timed perfectly. The bubbles, the herding, the calls, the final lunge, all synchronized between multiple giant animals working as one. This isn't instinct firing at random. It's a plan, executed together by a group of hunters who understand their individual parts in a shared strategy. And it gets more remarkable still. Because the humpbacks aren't all born knowing how to do this. The bubble net technique is learned, passed from one whale to another, spreading through populations, taught and copied and refined. It's not just a behavior, it's knowledge, shared between individuals and handed down. A hunting tradition, the same way the orca's techniques are a tradition. These giants have culture, and part of that culture is a cooperative trap made of air that no single whale could ever pull off alone. So step back and feel how the picture has turned. You started with the gentlest, most peaceful giant in the sea, the singer, the drifter, the friendly face of the ocean. And all of that is real. But underneath it is a coordinated, intelligent, cooperative hunter that invented one of the most creative strategies in the entire animal kingdom. Building a cage out of bubbles, herding prey with sound, and striking together in perfect unison. The gentleness was never the whole story. The humpback proves that some of the ocean's most impressive hunters don't need to be fearsome at all.
I'll be honest with you, the way I always am. The humpback is no threat to us in any way. It feeds on tiny fish and krill, and its cooperation, its intelligence, its haunting songs make it one of the most beloved animals in the sea for good reason. It earns wonder, not fear. But don't let that gentleness fool you into thinking it's simple. Behind those calm eyes is a mind capable of planning, cooperating, and teaching, capable of turning teamwork itself into a weapon more effective than any single set of teeth. So the next time you see a humpback breach or hear that it sings, remember there's more to it than peace. Somewhere beneath the surface, a group of these giants is diving together, blowing a spiral of bubbles into the dark and building out of nothing but air and cooperation one of the most elegant traps the ocean has ever seen. The deadliest thing about the humpback isn't its size. It's that it learned to hunt together. And in the ocean, a team that thinks as one is far more dangerous than any hunter that stands alone. The humpback hunts by working together in the open water. The next hunter needs no team, no plan, and no help at all. Just a single strike, faster than your eye could ever follow. There's a hunter in the open water that you will never see strike. Not because it hides, not because it's small, but because it moves faster than your eye can process. A flash of silver, a blur, and whatever it was hunting is simply gone, cut clean in two. By the time your brain registers that something happened, the strike is already finished. Look out into the blue, just off the reef. See that long silver shape hanging there, almost motionless, catching the light. It looks calm, patient, almost lazy, just drifting in the current, going nowhere. Hold on to that image of stillness, because it's about to become the single most violent burst of speed on the entire reef, and you'll barely see it happen. This is the barracuda. And here's the first thing to understand about it. Its whole body is built for one instant. Look at the shape. Long, lean, streamlined into a living blade, without an ounce of wasted bulk. Everything about it exists to cut through water with the least possible resistance, to turn perfect stillness into explosive speed in a heartbeat. It isn't built to chase you down over a long distance like the pack hunters. It's built for one thing: a single, blistering strike. And for that one strike, it is among the fastest things in the entire ocean. But speed alone isn't what makes it lethal. Here's what does. Open its mouth. Inside is a set of teeth unlike almost anything else on the reef. Not neat rows of identical points, but a mix of sizes, some short, some long as daggers, all razor sharp, and arranged so they interlock when the jaws slam shut like a trap. These aren't teeth for chewing. They're teeth for one purpose: to seize prey and slice clean through it in a single bite.
The barracuda doesn't nibble. It commits. One strike, one cut, and a fish is in two pieces before it even knew a hunter was there. And now the twist that makes the barracuda genuinely strange. It's helplessly drawn to the one thing it should avoid: a flash of light. Stay with me, because this is where it gets eerie. The barracuda hunts by sight, and it's triggered almost reflexively by a bright glint in the water, the quick silver flicker of a small fish turning, the shimmer of scales catching the light. That flash means prey, and it fires the strike before the barracuda has even fully decided what it's looking at. But here's the catch. The barracuda's own body is a mirror. When it turns, when it strikes, its silver flank throws back a hard flash of light, the exact signal that sets off an attack. A flash draws the strike. The strike makes a flash. It is a hunter wired to react to the very thing it can't stop producing. Which leads to the reason you should think twice about bright, shiny objects in the water. Very rarely, a barracuda will strike at something it never meant to. A watch, a ring, a bright metal buckle. Not out of aggression, not because it's hunting a person, but because for one reflexive instant, that sudden glint looked exactly like a fleeing fish, and the barracuda's body fired the strike before its brain could catch up. The danger isn't malice. It's a reflex so fast and so hardwired that the animal itself can't override it in time. So feel how the calm picture has turned. You started with a lazy silver shape drifting in the blue. What's actually there is one of the fastest ambush hunters in the ocean. A streamlined blade armed with interlocking dagger teeth, capable of slicing prey in half in a strike you'd never see. Wired to attack flashes of light and unable to stop its own body from creating them. The stillness was a loaded spring. The patience was a countdown. And the instant a glint crosses its vision, all of it releases at once. I'll be honest with you, the way I always am. The barracuda's fearsome reputation is mostly unearned. It's curious, not aggressive. It'll often trail a swimmer out of pure curiosity and do nothing more. The rare strikes on people are almost always that same case of mistaken light, a reflex fired at a glint and instantly regretted. It isn't hunting you, and it doesn't want you. Leave the shiny jewelry out of murky, bright water, and the barracuda stays exactly what it is, a stunning, harmless to you marvel of speed. But make no mistake about what it can do. Out there in the calm blue, hanging silver and still in the light, is a hunter that has perfected the single fastest, cleanest strike on the entire reef. A kill delivered in less time than it takes you to blink. You won't see it coming. You never do. Because the barracuda doesn't overpower its prey or outsmart it, it simply arrives before the prey can react. And in the ocean, the hunter that moves faster than the moment itself has already won the fight before it even begins. The barracuda kills with pure, blinding speed. The last small hunter does the exact opposite. It never moves at all, disguised as a harmless rock, until the one instant it explodes into the most venomous strike in the sea. There's a rock sitting on the bottom of the shallows right now. People wade past rocks like it every day without a second glance. And one day, something is going to swim just a little too close to this one and discover, far too late, that it was never a rock at all. It was the most venomous fish in the entire sea. Waiting. Look at it. Or rather, try to. Because that's the whole point. It looks exactly like a lump of crusted stone, mottled and dull, half buried in the sand, covered in what might be algae or coral. Your eye slides right over it. There's nothing there worth looking at. Hold on to that feeling of nothing to see here, because it is the most dangerous illusion on the entire seafloor. This is the stonefish. And here's the first thing that sets it apart from every hunter you've met. While every other predator in this film relies on power, or speed, or intelligence, the stonefish relies on being invisible. The orca overwhelms with a pack. The barracuda strikes faster than the eye. The stonefish does the opposite of all of it. It doesn't chase. It doesn't charge. It doesn't move at all. Its entire strategy is to become part of the seabed so completely that nothing knows it's there. It has turned stillness into a weapon, and it may be the most patient hunter in the ocean. But here's the first twist. That disguise isn't for hiding. It's for hunting. You'd assume a master of camouflage is timid, something blending in to avoid being eaten. The stonefish flips that entirely. It isn't hiding from predators. It's hiding from prey. It sits motionless, perfectly disguised for hours, sometimes far longer. A living trap, doing absolutely nothing, waiting for a smaller fish to drift just a little too close to what it assumes is a harmless rock. And then? Then it moves faster than anything that still seems barely alive. In a strike measured in milliseconds, the rock explodes upward. The mouth snaps open, and the prey is gone before it ever understood the seafloor was alive. Blink, and you'd miss it. The prey certainly did. The stonefish spends almost its entire life in total stillness and saves every ounce of its speed for the single instant that ends another creature's life. It is patience and violence in the same body, and you only ever see the violence once. But the hunting strike isn't even what makes the stonefish legendary. Here's what is. Run your eyes along its back. Hidden in that crusty, rock-like body is a row of spines, 13 of them, stiff and needle-sharp, lying flat and unseen. And each one is loaded with venom so potent it ranks among the most painful and dangerous of any creature on Earth. This is the weapon that gives the stonefish its terrifying reputation. Not the bite that kills its prey, the back that defends its life. And now the detail that makes it genuinely dangerous to anything larger. The stonefish will not move out of your way. Think about what that combination means. Most dangerous animals give you a chance. They flee, they warn, they avoid trouble. The stonefish does none of that, because its entire survival depends on never breaking its disguise. So when something large approaches, a bigger predator or a careless foot in the shallows, it doesn't dart away like a normal fish. It stays perfectly still, trusting its camouflage, right up until the moment all that weight comes down on those 13 venomous spines and drives them deep.
The very instinct that keeps it hidden from prey is exactly what puts it in harm's way.
So feel how completely the picture has turned inside out.
You started with a rock, the most boring, ignorable thing on the sea floor. What's actually there is the most venomous fish in the ocean, a motionless ambush hunter that strikes in milliseconds, carries 13 venom-loaded spines along its back, and refuses to move for anything. Everything that made it look safe is precisely what makes it deadly. The dullness, the stillness, the way it looks like part of the seabed. Its greatest weapon isn't the venom or the speed. It's that you don't believe it's there at all.
I'll be honest with you, the way I always am. The stonefish is not aggressive, and it is not hunting anything as large as a person. It wants, more than anything, to be left alone and unseen. That's its entire way of life. Nearly every serious encounter with a human comes from the same accident. Someone steps on what they thought was a rock. Watch where you place your feet in shallow tropical water, and the stonefish stays exactly what it wants to be. Invisible, motionless, and no threat to anyone at all. But underestimate it, mistake it for stone, and it becomes one of the most dangerous animals in the entire sea. Because the deadliest hunter on this seafloor isn't the one with teeth, or speed, or size. It's the one lying perfectly still beneath you, disguised as the one thing in the ocean you were never afraid of. The stonefish rules by being invisible. The final hunter rules by being the exact opposite. The most feared shape in the entire ocean, the one every other creature already knows to fear on sight. This is the one. The animal at the bottom of every fear we have about the ocean. The dark shape that empties a beach with a single sighting. The most feared hunter in the entire sea. And almost everything you believe about it is wrong. You already see it in your mind. The fin cutting the surface, the rows of teeth, the cold, empty, staring eyes. We've built this animal into the ultimate monster, the mindless killing machine that hunts us, that wants us, that waits in the blue for its chance. Hold on to that image for just a moment longer, because I'm about to take it apart, piece by piece. And what's underneath is far more impressive than the monster ever was. This is the great white shark. And the very first myth to die is the biggest one. It is not a mindless eating machine. That idea is completely backwards. The great white is one of the most sophisticated hunters that has ever existed. And sophisticated is the key word. Because this animal hunts with a precision that has nothing to do with mindless fury. It carries a set of senses so refined they sound almost supernatural. Stay with me, because this is where the real animal finally emerges from behind the myth. It can smell a single drop of blood spread through an enormous volume of water. It can feel the faint electrical fields given off by the muscles of a living body, sensing a heartbeat through the water itself. It can detect the smallest vibration, the tremor of something struggling far away, and turn toward it from a great distance. Long before its prey has any idea it exists, the great white already knows exactly where it is, how big it is,
and whether it's healthy or weak. This is not a brute. This is a precision instrument.
And here's the part that dismantles the monster completely.
The great white does not hunt humans. It never has. And once you understand how it hunts, you understand why.
This is the truth the fear gets wrong.
The great white is a specialist. All those incredible senses, that entire body, are tuned to hunt specific prey, rich and fatty, the food it actually needs to fuel itself. A human is none of those things. We are unfamiliar, bony, wrong. And in the very rare moments a great white does strike a person, the evidence points overwhelmingly to one explanation: mistaken identity. A quick, investigatory bite, often from below where a silhouette is unclear, and then, almost always, the shark realizes its error and leaves. It wasn't hunting, it was checking. The attacks we built our deepest terror around are usually the world's most precise hunter making a rare mistake.
But here's the twist that should genuinely humble you. And it ties this entire film together. The great white, the thing we crowned the ultimate predator of the sea, is itself afraid of something. We opened this whole journey with it. When orcas move into its waters, the great white doesn't fight. It doesn't stand its ground. It flees, abandoning the entire area, sometimes for months. The most feared animal in the sea, the one we've made into an unstoppable monster, runs from a smarter hunter the moment it senses one nearby. The apex we fear has an apex of its own. The ocean's hierarchy runs deeper and colder than we ever wanted to admit.
So feel how completely the picture has changed.
You started with a monster, mindless, malicious, hunting us in the blue.
What's actually there is something far more remarkable. An exquisitely sophisticated predator, armed with senses we can barely comprehend, that doesn't hunt humans, that strikes us only by rare mistake, and that isn't even the most powerful thing in its own ocean. Everything that made it a monster in our minds was a story we told ourselves. The real animal is more impressive than the myth, and far less interested in us than we ever wanted to believe.
I'll be honest with you, the way I have been the whole way through, and the great white deserves this honesty most of all. It absolutely commands respect. It is powerful, it is wild, and it should never be treated carelessly. But it does not deserve the terror we've heaped on it. It is not a villain. It is not coming for you. It is a magnificent animal, doing exactly what it evolved to do. In the ocean, it has ruled and feared and survived in for millions of years. So as we leave the water, hold on to the real lesson of everything you've seen. The deadliest hunters in the ocean are not monsters. The orca that everything flees from shows no interest in us. The giant that hunts in darkness wants nothing to do with the surface. The gentle giant could rule by force and chooses peace. Every one of these animals was more than its reputation, more powerful or more surprising, but always more magnificent than the simple story we'd attached to it. They are not cruel. They are not evil. They are simply masters of survival. Each one perfectly built for the single thing the ocean rewards above all else: staying alive in a world that offers no mercy and no second chances. And the most feared of them all,
the great white shark, leaves us with the truest lesson of the entire sea. The thing you're most afraid of is almost never the thing you should fear. And it is almost always far more extraordinary than you ever imagined.